Hello, everybody. Mr. Brown here. This is day 2 or chapter 2 of 31 Days of Wisdom. And as I think about this series, it's not for me to teach every day because I may not create a video or a podcast every day, but I will send out a text devotion every day. So if you're not signed up for the text devotion, just go to proclaimministry.com, click on the connect button, and you will see, I think the second on the list will be for you to sign up for the text devotion. It'll lead you to another page where all you really need to leave is your name and your phone number, and you will get a text every morning. Now, don't forget that it will send you a text immediately, and right after you receive that text, you have to respond and say yes. And don't forget to see that if you don't want to get it no more, don't send me mean emails threatening me that you're going to report me. Just simply reply stop, and the text message will automatically stop coming to you if you don't want to receive them anymore. But the purpose of this series, 31 Days of Wisdom, is not for me to teach again. I love teaching. I love sharing what I've learned, but it's for us to go through a journey together to glean what we can from the book of Proverbs to add in our lives so we can be wise and not a fool. The Proverb talks a lot. The book of Proverbs talks a lot about the difference between a wise man and a fool man, and the foolish person, the wise person. So I want you to grab everything you can. And what I like about the book of Proverbs too, is not like a lot of the each book is not exegetical. Exegetical, that's the word I'm looking for. In other words, it's not where everything's built on each other. There's parts of the Proverbs that are just sayings that are stacked on each other. A lot of the Proverbs we've read so far, I've been reading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, have been saying, my son, Solomon, like appealing to his son to say, listen to my words, take this advice. And as I listened to later versions of it, I told you yesterday I was listening to Bible.is, which is a great app. For me, as I get dressed in the morning today, I listen to 9 Proverbs as I got dressed. And some of them were just sayings, things that are just wise you should listen to and apply in your life. So again, I want this to be a series where you get a knife and a fork and dig in the word yourself. It's not about me teaching. It's about us together getting into the word of God together that will change our lives. Because again, like I say all the time when I'm speaking, this book, the Bible, the word of God will change your life. So get your face in the book. And this month we're doing 31 Days of Wisdom, a journey through the book of Proverbs. Now, this shouldn't be the only thing you do for your time in the word. This is a supplement. This is extra. But by going through it together, I think we can gain a lot. So you should tell your friends, tell your family. My family's going through it together, and it could be something great. 31 Days of Wisdom, January 1st to January 31st, 31 days in the book of Proverbs. Now, if you didn't begin with us on January 1, that's fine. Just pick up on the day you hear about it. Maybe it's the 11th and you just now hearing this. Hey, jump on Proverbs 11. And it's easy because you can remember the day of the month is the day of the proverb we're reading. And you can share your input with us. Please visit proclaimministry.com. Click on our button and leave some comments. This will be on Facebook as well. Just leave some comments. I would love to hear from you what you're learning through the book of Proverbs. So with that said, let's get going on chapter number 2. Here we go. All right, the text devotion says this: get it, because when you get it, you're good. And when you're good, they can't get you. That's Proverbs chapter 2, kind of my summary of it. Again, get it, get wisdom. And when you get it, you're good. And when you're good because you got wisdom, they can't get you. People can't get you. And I'll explain that as we go through the whole chapter of Proverbs 2. Here we go. The first part, get it. Verses 1 through 4, he really encourages his son to get wisdom. That's what he says. My son, if you receive my words and treasure up my commandments with you, making your ear attentive to wisdom, inclining your heart to understanding. Yes, if you call out for insight and raise your voice for understanding, if you seek it like silver and search for it as hidden treasure. So he says, get it. You got to get this, my son. This is Solomon talking to his son. We don't know which son he's talking to, but he's imploring his son. He's saying, hey, you need to get this wisdom. This is the most valuable thing you can get. You need to get wisdom. So I kind of broke verses 1 through 4 down this way. Shut up and listen. You ever grow up, your parents, you know something, and they just get mad with you and say, shut up and listen. I don't know if I ever my mom telling me to shut up, but definitely the listen part. Sometimes we think we know a lot. You know, this age, we have so much technology. We can find out anything by Googling it. But there's a way we can learn from people who've experienced some things already. And Solomon's one who had some wisdom because he got it from God. So he's telling his son, listen, shut up and listen. He said, receive my words, treasure my commandments in you, making your ear attentive to wisdom and inclining your heart to understanding. You need to get this, son. So shut up and listen. Then second part, verse 3 says, speak up. Yes, if you call out for insight and if you seek it like silver. Sorry, he says, call out for insight and raise your voice for understanding. That's verse 3. Yes, if you call out for insight and raise your voice for understanding. I thought of this. Have you ever been with a group of people and you're talking and they use a word you don't understand? You just don't get the word, but you pretend like you do. I'm not like that. If I don't understand a word that you're using, what does that mean? You know why? Because I want to understand. I want to get it. I don't want to live my life pretending I know things I don't learn. And for some reason, as adults, the older we get, sometimes we like to pretend that we're somewhere we're not. And so Solomon is telling his son here, telling us, I think, through the scriptures, is get understanding. Call out for insight. If you don't understand something, get it. Students, when you're in school, don't pretend like you know things you don't know. I remember being with some students, I explained something. I said, you get it? They're like, yeah. Okay, what does that mean? Because I'll ask you, if you pretend you know or you act like you know, I want you to be able to tell me in your own words what it means, because that means you really got it. So Solomon is saying here, seek for it, call out for it. If you don't get it, say something about it. You have to get the understanding to get wisdom. Then he moves on. Seek it, verse 4. He says, if you seek for it like silver and search for it as a hidden treasure. He's saying go after it. Seek it because it's not hide. It's not like hide and seek. Wisdom is not seeking. As a matter of fact, we learned yesterday in verse 1 of chapter 1 that wisdom is calling out in the streets saying, hey, come get me, I'm here. And later on in the book of Proverbs, it repeats that wisdom is calling out for us. Anyone who wants it gets it. Come get this wisdom. It's available for you. So get wisdom. Later in chapter 4, verse 7, he says this, get wisdom, get understanding, and all you're getting, wisdom is the chief thing, therefore get wisdom, and all you're getting, get understanding. He wants you to get it, because when you get it, you got it. And you're good. And when you get it, you're good. Look at verse 5, you're good. Verse 5, he says, then you will understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God. I mean, what better place to be? Verse 6 says this, for the Lord gives wisdom from his mouth and comes knowledge, from him comes knowledge and understanding. And the idea is here is this, that when you get this wisdom, you get God, I believe. You just don't get this information the way the world sees wisdom. Because there's a different type of wisdom, the world's wisdom and God's wisdom. And what you get when you seek after this wisdom, you get God's wisdom because it comes from him. And how would Solomon know that? Well, Solomon knew that because in 1 Kings chapter 3, when he became the king of Israel after his father David, God came to him in a vision and said, Solomon, what would you like? Well, tell me one thing you want to have. And instead of asking for riches and fame and fortune, he asked for wisdom to guide God's people. He said, give me wisdom. And God was so pleased with his request. Not only did he give him wisdom, he gave him so much other. He gave him riches and wealth, but he asked for wisdom. Wisdom is the chief thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and all you're getting, get understanding. So he says, then you will understand the fear of the Lord, where wisdom starts. Because again, the beginning of wisdom is the fear of the Lord. Then for the Lord gives wisdom, from his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. It comes from God. So that's where we have to get, because when you get it, you're good. When you understand the wisdom that God gives and you begin to walk in that wisdom, you're in a good place. You're in a place where you're living God's purposes out and the decisions you make daily. And students, let me just appeal to you. I know a lot of things in the world look so good. And here's the reality. So many people live before you, and they can tell you that everything that glitters isn't gold. Everything that shines isn't for you. And not to say that you want to enjoy life. I'm not one of those people say, Christians, your life will be boring. I love my life. I enjoy my life. Why? Because I'm living a life that is pleasing to God. I'm living out my intended purpose. And if you get this wisdom, apply wisdom in your life, you will get the knowledge of fear of the Lord and the knowledge of God. And the thing about God is this, God is incomprehensible, but he's knowable. What does that mean? That means that God is incomprehensible, that we will never fully understand everything about God. And honestly, that leaves me to a place of relief, because if I knew everything about God, then I would be God. I would be able to outsmart God. But God is so awesome that, understand this, we will spend eternity getting to know more and more and more about how awesome God is. He's inexhaustible. He's incomprehensible, but he's knowable. He's allowed himself that we can know him through his son, through his creation, and through the word of God. And as we acquire this wisdom, we will get the knowledge of God. I think that's amazing because God gives it. In James chapter 1, verse 5, he says, if anyone lacks wisdom, let him ask of God. Here in Proverbs, he's saying, ask me. God, it comes from God. get wisdom from God. So when you get it, and when you get it, you're good. And when you're good, they can't get you. Well, that's the ending of this whole chapter, where he talks about the evil people trying to get you, and they can't get you because you are good. Verses 12 through 22, he talks about the evil man and the wayward woman, and how, by applying wisdom, you won't fall into the traps of the evil men who try to pursue it. Even the wayward woman, my version says, some of your version says a strange woman. But I want you to read through the rest of the passage, but understand this one principle as you read. If you get it, first of all. Solomon's asking you to get it. Get this wisdom, get it. And if you get it, you're good. And when you're good, they can't get you, because you are in a place where you're walking with the Lord, you're understanding wisdom, and you're applying it every day of your life. What could be better for whether you're young, whether you're old, wherever you are in your life today, to be able to apply wisdom and live a life that's pleasing to God? Because when you get this wisdom, you're able to live well. Well, choose well to live well, but you're able to live well. And I want you to choose to get it, because when you get it, you're good. And when you're good, they can't get you. Well, that's it for today. And again, this isn't an in-depth Bible study. I want you to get your knife and your fork out and cut up some of this. Read some more of this passage. Look at more of the scriptures about when you're good, when you get it, you're good, how God gives you wisdom, and also about how you stay away from the wicked people, evil people. Check it out. Again, join the conversation as well. I'd love to hear from you. Go to proclaimministry.com, leave your thoughts, your messages. And also, I almost forgot, the feedback phone, a 24-hour feedback phone, 24-hour text message hotline. It's 530-535-8121, 530-535-8121. You can leave your voice, because I can put your voice on the show, on either the podcast or the videos that I do. And I would love for you to join the conversation. So thanks for joining us for this 31 days of wisdom. I can't wait to see how we have all changed at the end of this 31 days, looking at the book of Proverbs. Thanks for joining us.